What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Christopher here. Here's a garden update. Quite a bit to cover, few changes. As always, like, comment, subscribe, and should be good. Alright guys, so 6 banana trees, or they're not trees, but we'll just call them trees. 6 banana trees. New growth in the top stem, they're dwarf. So 6 of them, we'll get a little closer. I planted some basil in between, through here, all through here. Got 3 papaya. So, there's the bananas. It takes about a year or so for them to produce. They will shoot suckers or whatever. Some peppermint. Chocolate mint. So for the mint in the buckets, I took a pitchfork and I stuck all the way through all the buckets, and then I put black cow manure in there. I gotta stand back here. Whoa. Alright, so here are the tomatoes. Probably should get on the other side because of the sun. The tomatoes have grown. I watched the garden update a few days ago. So definitely they've grown since. Get them from this angle. So these are the yellow spine variety. They get big tomatoes. That's that. And then a cherry on the right. So for the basil, I trimmed off all the flowers. This is basically in my garden, all what's in the garden, which is African basil. And there's only 2 plants, and all the basil you see in the garden is from cuttings. So, let's see. So when I first put these bamboo stakes in, I just pushed them down, which wasn't a good idea. But I went again and pushed in with a sledgehammer, and I zip tied them. The other ones over there are really staked in real well. Alright. Oops. Alright, so here's the lemongrass 2 plants. Alright, might as well say it. So I did Epsom salt spray. So I'll say it when I go to each plant or so, what I did. So this batch here with the basil was 2 tablespoons in a pressure sprayer. These 2 lemongrass, there was 2 tablespoons, and I did 2 with the gallon. So that was that. So these are lemongrass. So nice and healthy, new stalks growing nice and well. Another African basil. Not sure what type of pepper this is. I know it's hot and it's good for hot sauce, the nursery lady said. I think it's Daldea if you pronounce it right or something. Another lemongrass. Some orange trees from seed. We'll go that way after. So some peppermint or spearmint. I think it's peppermint. So like I said, I took pitchfork all the way down and loosened up the soil. Some pineapple sage. A little bit of asparagus. So it turns out that when I had my dill, there's dill everywhere in my gardens, just everywhere. And this is the mulberry that ran from all the way over there when I had them in smaller pots, but they're in bigger ones, contained now. Alright, here's something exciting. So my habanero pepper plant, I overwintered this. This is about 1.5 years, almost 2 years. The garden will be 1 year old, or 2 years old, and close to spring. It's got a few more months. A little bit of habanero on there. Some more mint. This is a pepper plant, but I'm not sure. It could be Tabasco. Dill popping up everywhere. Alright, I should go from the other side. I can't really walk that way because the tomatoes are leaning over there. So last update, they were a lot smaller. I mean, like all the way down here, smaller. I got some nice juicy red tomatoes on there. Alright, so these are yellow vine grape. Probably shouldn't put tomato in my mouth because I gotta talk. So, stake here, stake here, stake here. I think there's 4 stakes at the bottom holding the big stake up. So I have a banana, or not banana, bamboo tree. That's what I use for my stakes. And we can't go that way, so we might as well go this way. More African basil. So these are all new growth with the flowers. The honeybees like them. Chocolate mint. Stems are edible. Spearmint and peppermint. Spearmint. Another spearmint. Chocolate mint. This is another jalapeno pepper plant. So I picked up, I think, 5 stevia plants. One didn't make it, which is over there. So that's sugar. This is the third lemongrass plant I planted in the garden. The rest are not as old. Got some rosemary. Beautiful collard green. More African basil. We'll go this way, Chris. Another spearmint. So, like I said in the last update, I pulled out. Let's see if you can pull one out. See that? I pulled out so much of that stuff. That's all new growth down there from new stalks coming up. Another spearmint. Another rosemary. African basil. Sage tree that was here before the garden. Another African basil. Spearmint and peppermint and chocolate mint. Here's sage. Beautiful. Alright. So this is the new addition to the garden. Alright. So this is a dragon fruit or passion fruit. It needs a stake. It's shooting these vines, which they do. They actually get quite massive, actually. But so I planted about 52 celery along this path all the way through. And there's basil planted all the way through. Another passion fruit. There's 3 of them. There's 3. I didn't know that. Yeah, so 3 passion fruit. So we got some cherries, red cherries. So one was a little immature. One had a yellowness to it. Must have had too much water in the process. They have grown since they've been in here. Another cherry bush. Basil. This was what's left of the tomato plant that was over there in the big pot. I just broke it down and spread it everywhere. Mulberry. Or blackberry. Mulberry. Then blackberry, I think. Yeah. And basil through there. Alright. This is lime basil, I think. Or yeah, it's lime, I think. Yep, they survived the cold so far. Cinnamon basil that just came up on its own. Blueberry bush that has some blueberries. 2 of them. So everything was dry when I watered today. So I harvested a little bit for today in the juice of lemongrass. So lemon balm. Another jalapeno pepper plant. Perennial wildflower. So a lot of tomatoes are just popping up on their own from the compost. So I staked them today. 2 tomatoes there. Another dill. Another stevia. So on the Tabasco pepper plants, I pulled the soil away. And then I put 2 red Solo cups of chicken manure pellets to hydrate on each set of plants. So this is Tabasco. This is the smallest one. So the stevia needs to be cut back so it can regrow better. That's stevia, African basil. That stevia has been overwintered. It's almost 2 years old. So this is what the Georgia collard greens look like. When it gets colder, they really thrive. But a couple left from the harlequin bugs. We'll go this way. Some peppermint, chocolate mint, spearmint, some chocolate mint. So over here, Planted some basil down here to repel anything really. And this is all new growth here. Oops. Of the eggplant. It's all new growth. Trimmed it back. This is the one I purchased, the African basil. This is the other one. This is an eggplant I grew from seed. Planted the basil down here. I think that's Thai or Tutsi basil, Tulsi. Alright, so not sure what's going on with this leaf here, but this is going to get pruned off from the eggplant. Here's the other eggplant with some more basil at the bottom. Pineapple sage, all of them made it from regrow. Alright, so what I'm going to do with these tomatoes and the other ones over there that grew from just seeing them, got a little disease going on from watering from the collard green. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to dig them up and plant them all the way through here, and that will all grow roots. Just a thought. So this basil must have leaned over and grew when it was close to the basil. So some rosemary. Here's my big Tabasco pepper plant. Quite big. I haven't harvested peppers in a while, but they are loaded. The birds usually eat them off this one. It's a big collard over there. Another collard there. African basil. So here's beautiful celery. Beautiful. And it's prime. Other side of the Tabasco pepper plant. So here are the mustard greens. The soil hasn't been really amended, but over there where we're about to go, it should be it's a lot more lush. Sweet basil or lemon or mint, sweet mint or lemon mint, I think. Some more mustards. Another pineapple sage. Perennial flower. Another perennial flower. Hummingbirds like these ones. African basil. So peppermint. This is pretty. Very pretty. Another basil. Lemongrass. I pulled all the soil away and then I put a bunch of fertilizer at the bottom. They were getting stalk rot because the soil was all around it. And water couldn't escape, so I fixed that by pulling the soil away. Here comes Precious, the cat, which will go. So I got some mint growing around, but it needs to be pulled up, put in pots. So some African basil, lemon balm, and spearmint. Another asparagus plant, spearmint. So all this eggplant needs to be staked. Another collard. I did tie this collard. This one needs to be tied. Starting to lean. That's a big boy. Here. Very big boy. So eggplant needs to be staked. There's the other stevia. Come on over here. The rosemary. Pineapple sage that just grew on its own. So here are the mustards. These are the big boys, 18 inches or so, most of them. And then coming with, this was my walkway over here, but the tomatoes took it over. So here's the other side of the tomato. I have to get on a ladder to get up to the top to tie them, but these are definitely massive. They are disease resistant, but yep. Alright, there's two gates, one here and one over there we'll look at. So I'm going to put some basil in there, which I don't like to share. Chocolate mint. Alright, now we're coming to the border. So peppermint. A lot of these buckets over here got mulberry in them, so it's going to be hard to remove them. So yeah. A little bit of sage. It's pretty old. Lasted a while. These are just basically all mints. These are from transplant. You hear what mulberry is? You could eat this. I have before, but I don't think they're ripened. I think they get bigger and juicier, I guess, tasteful. So these two mulberries were in these two pots. See how small they are compared to this? Yeah, they definitely like that. I put them on garden soil. Alright. So these are oregano. This is bush oregano or carpet or, yeah. That's all this. Greek oregano. This is actually spice oregano, and spice oregano. Another chocolate mint, peppermint. These are just the mints. Little green onion. See this guy is hanging on everything. We'll get him some bamboo and a trellis and everything for the passion fruit. Alright, so these are Greek oregano. Some sage and thyme. Greek oregano. This is all organized. I put in biodegradable or grass on the bottom, and cardboard so weeds don't grow. So we got some chives, some spearmint. It's got the sage coming through here. Some Italian oregano, some through here. Another green onion. Another chive. Here's parsley, lemon through here. Alright, guys. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I'm all done with the garden update. Hope you liked. Comment if you will. Alright, guys. Peace.